Welcome, everyone. You're tuned into Knowledge Within. Today we've got Paul Northridge from Unite Planet, and he has had a near-death experience in the past. So we're going to discuss a bit about that, a bit about my experiences with a similar thing, and also Paul's got a book on Amazon. It's called The Walk of Life, and it's feet on the ground. That's correct, isn't it, Paul?
That's correct. Yeah, yes, like a double-barreled thing. Yeah.
So just wait for some people to join in. If anyone joins, if not, we'll just
that's fine.
Crack on.
Yeah, just crack on. That's fine.
Just going to log on to the stream on my phone just to make sure what I'm seeing is the same as that. Right. Right. Sorry about this.
That's okay. So do people see it on like YouTube or Facebook or somewhere else?
So basically, I'll just post a video. I'll post a video out, and whoever sees it. When people log in, they log in. I'd usually put it on prior to, like, I don't know, say like 3 or 4 days. But when I post a video now where I've spoke about some stuff that shouldn't be spoke about, it won't even show a reminder. Do you know, like, you get a reminder feed come up? That doesn't come up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't.
Okay, cool.
Bit of a weird one like that, but I think I should have kept my mouth closed and spoke about something like cross-dressing or something. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but yeah, you know what I mean. It would have probably got. Where is it? My channel isn't showing up on there. Oh, that's because I'm logged in as myself. That's why. Signing up. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Okay, no worries.
There we go. Let's see if it's coming up. Right, so I'm actually on it now, so it should show one person watching.
All right.
And if it doesn't, then people can be watching, and it's just. No, it's not. Anyway, let's just get into it. I'm sure it will get views. So.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
So yeah, let's just talk about. Oh, that is coming up now, so no one is watching.
That's fine.
Let's just talk about. Don't worry. Let's talk about what you've experienced, and also we'll go to and from what I've experienced as well. In terms of your near-death experience.
Right. Okay. So what happened was with me, I was 14 at the time, and because I got spina bifida, I've always had problems with walking since birth. I've had issues with my legs from a long time, and so I've had many operations between the age of 0 to 16. I had 14 major operations, so I had a lot of schooling missed, but that's by the point. Anyway, so on the 14 years of age operation, I had a thing called Verona inserted into my thigh. And in order to do that, they had to relax my muscle. And so before they gave me the anesthetic, I had the muscle relaxant first. And so as I'm having that into me, obviously I'm in the theatre, and the nurses are prepping then. Dr. Mr. Newton, my surgeon, was getting ready as well. I could see him in the room. And anyway, so I'm just lying in the bed, and next thing you know, I'm just like a whoosh comes over me. Felt really quite painful, to be honest with you. It wasn't amazingly painful. I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to die painful, but I was experiencing pain. And anyway, so next thing I'm thinking like, my God, my hands really hurt as well. So I'm looking at my hands, and they're like twice as big and red, swollen. And I said, Mr. Newton, my surgeon, look at that. And the next thing, he's turning around, and he's like looking at me, going like, oh, and bam. And then, so then that was it, lights out. I was as if I was like, just pulled the plug out, and that was it. It was like black. And anyway.
So you're like totally, so you completely black out, and then you're in like, what, you're still aware? You're not.
Well, I mean,
You're aware of
when
yourself,
it's
kind of.
yeah, I mean, when it's black, I'm still aware.
It's like
Definitely, I felt like I
got
was
nothing.
thinking like, yeah, just lights out. And but in that moment though, it's like time doesn't exist anymore,
Mm.
and so then I'm getting like then to be awake again. But this time I'm not in the bed. I'm actually over myself, but at an angle. I'll say like that kind of a degree. So I'm looking down towards my left-hand side, downwards, and then I'm seeing Dr. Newton, Mr. Newton, and nurses trying to then work on me, trying to get me back to life again. But I wasn't panicking, wasn't thinking, "Oh my goodness, that's very." But I just felt like, "Oh, that's me. That's my nurses. That's Dr. Newton." It wasn't really. That was just basically it. Just recognizing it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I saw was there was three beings came over towards me. I'll say on that way. So I'm looking at it from downwards, and then three beings came towards me.
So,
Yeah.
so were they like I've seen a ghost before, right? Like
Yeah.
near as day, I've seen an old woman, and she was just like pure white. That's what I see. Like, but I could see her face and her hair and stuff like that. But she was just pure white.
Okay. Wow. I didn't
So,
see any face. I'll be honest with you, Lewis. It was
right.
more like if you look at there's an artist that we've actually interviewed on Our Planet, and he showed pictures of all his works to us, and then he showed one picture, and I thought, oh my goodness, he's just seen what I saw in my near-death experience, and he painted it how I remember it, and
Yeah.
it's called the Eternal Spirit. So if you can look at Google, and then look at the Eternal Spirit, you might be able to see the picture of it, and yeah, so that's how they looked.
By an spirit. By an
Yeah,
art.
it's
What is an artist? You say?
Lloyd Canning.
Lloyd Kenning.
Canning.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, great
All right.
artist, by the way, Lewis. I recommend interviewing him. He's a lovely guy. He's talented, and he does amazing pictures. So, and he's had many experiences as well. So he's worth about UFOs and things like that. So he's worth chatting to, definitely. So Lloyd Canning did this picture of Eternal Spirit, and I saw that and I thought, yeah, that's what I saw. So basically, it's like figure of like a head, shoulders, and then it starts to like evaporate a little bit. That's what it looked like. So it's like almost like light, clear, a little bit silvery, white type of colours. That's what I can describe. And anyway, they emitted a lot of love, and they also I felt like they knew me, I knew them, and they're basically saying to me, Paul, or didn't even use my name, come away from there. And I said, yeah, fair enough. I'll go away from there. I don't really want to see that anymore. Anyway, it's not horrifying, but I said, yeah, I'll go away and go with you. So we both consented then to go to the next realm. So as I said yes to that, then it's like whoosh, and then I'm off I go. So I'm no longer seeing myself below. Then I go like to this next realm, and the next realm is where they like show me around this vast world. I can't describe to you what it is. It's hard to describe it in words, really. But
so is it like?
yeah.
Is it like a? I know you can't explain it in words, but is it kind of like just a vast openness of? Is it infinite? Did it seem infinite?
I couldn't see past. Yeah, it was way beyond. It was. But as I'm there, I'm seeing like a lot of people, like the ones I sort of described to you. Lots of them doing. Obviously, they've all like passed away as well, and they're all tried to as describing what's happening. They're describing me like that one's in this own like a little booth, although it's not a booth, because this soul has had a traumatic experience and trying to recharge itself, get its life back, back to get its energy back. So basically, don't go near that soul. Okay, it wasn't like okay, just consented again. And then those energies. Like I say, I think I was an energy at the time as well. So all these like souls, energy, whatever. There are some playing games, having lots of fun, chasing like a footballish, tennisy kind of a game. Anyway, lots of fun going up in because you can fly as well. When you're not walking anymore, you ain't got your legs. Basically, you can do anything you want. You can be down, you can be up, fly. So it was basically freedom, and I thought that was quite cool.
And what did it feel like being in that moment?
For me, I'm not myself anymore. I'm not myself in that moment. I'm not thinking like as a human being anymore. I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
But
it's the ego, isn't it? It's probably the ego. The ego. Sort of, it keeps you. It keeps you in this sort of set. Yeah.
Definitely. And but when I came back, going back a little bit more. So going forward a little bit more. I felt like when I realised it was a near-death experience that I had, then I'm thinking like, well, it was nice to be without my legs, kind of things. Because obviously with spina bifida, it's quite, you're very much you're not able to do so many things, and there is pain involved as well. So that feeling of freedom and able to fly and all this kind of thing, you're thinking like, yeah, that was quite cool, as a retrospect on that. So as I'm being shown around, and then the next thing I was invited to do was to have like a life review. That was, again, like I say, time doesn't really exist. So I don't know how long I was out for. But anyway, I was then having a life review. And then during this life review, I could see the past, I could see present, and I could see future. And so and that was all at the same time. That's the best thing about it. It was all at the same time. So with that one, past wise, I could see that I've been reincarnated before. The reason being is because I saw several deaths. It was almost like a slideshow of deaths. I wouldn't say life so much. It was more like a slideshow of deaths. So I saw like many ways I was like died, just like last moments of my previous lives. And it sounds weird, but that's what I saw. One was quite horrific. One was dying on wooden spikes, which was quite surreal. But that's all I saw that. I think that one's definitely stood out to my memory. That's why I do recall that quite a lot. And then I saw present, where my mum and dad were in the kitchen preparing food because one of the things that they like to do is when they have an operation, they like to give me food, nice things, as a treat as a kid. So I didn't enjoy hospital food. So one of their things was to bring me food over, and so they was cooking, and I felt their emotions saying, I can't wait to see Paul, excited to see him, hope the operation goes well. All those things that was going through their heads, I felt it. So I was there feeling their emotions in the kitchen. And then future. I saw things ahead of me, which I didn't really, at 14 years old, I didn't really predict all this stuff that's going to happen ahead of me. But obviously, with them showing me what's going to happen, things that has happened now, thinking like, gosh, that is what I saw. That, so I'm having like deja vu moments a lot. 14 years of age, and spina bifida, I thought, no way will I drive. And I saw someone in the future driving and excited. And so all that kind of thing was thinking like, what was that? And because I didn't get it. And then there's also the things like Russia. And eventually I married a Russian lady. So there's sort of connection with Russia. And even to the point where I actually see a death, and I presume it's going to be me in the future. And I felt like I was going to be in Russia, in a flat, two ladies next to the bedside, and I presume it's going to be my wife, it's going to be my daughter. I'm just presuming those things. But again, I don't take life as the end after all seeing reincarnations. I see death as not the end.
So what was the death then, if you don't mind me asking? What did you see? What was it?
No, just I wasn't very well. I was in the bed, and I was oldish, older than I am now. And then I just felt like I was really quite.
How much older was you? How much older do you think you were in that? I know it's obviously a
I'd say
long time
70,
to remember.
80s, 70, 80s, somewhere like that. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's anything to go by, then we're going to be a long time.
Yeah. So
So how old are
it's
you now?
which is I'm 49 now.
49. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that's our saw as well, and then after all that life review stuff, then I was told, "Do you want to go back?" And so I said, "Well," and it was like almost indicating to me like you're young and you got lots to learn still. And anyway, if you do go if you do stay where you are, you only go back again, and you're going to learn the lessons again. So you may as well go back anyway. Kind of conversations going off, being fed to me,
Yeah.
or I'm aware of it anyway. So, and I just basically
That's
felt
nice.
like I'm young in this body. I want to see my parents again. I want to see my family, and then whoosh, I was back in my body again. I woke up in hospital, full of energy. I don't know if it was the adrenaline that probably put in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing energy was put in adrenaline to make me, back into life. I felt like $1 million when I came back out. And
Yeah, that's
I was in
crazy.
hospital, but usually when I had an operation, I'm free and groggy, anesthetic and all that kind of thing. But I was I was high.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
it's like that makes me think, right? If you're telling me that what you experienced, you've seen, you've seen the past,
Mhm.
you've seen the future. So then life really is just already constructed for you. What you're to go through.
Yeah.
It kind of solidify and it sort of solidifies that sort of view for me.
Mm.
But you still can make your own choices. I think that's how it
Yes.
works. But
Yes. I agree.
you've definitely got a place you're going to end, and then
Mm.
obviously go back to source, which is where you've been.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of it
What
kind of
about
makes.
your experiences, Lewis? I'm interested. I'm fascinated about yours as well, my friend. What's happening with you?
Well, I got into I got into drinking too much alcohol.
Okay.
Heavily
Yeah.
drinking,
Mhm.
and I ruined myself for probably about a year. I was drinking way too much. I was on about I was probably drinking about a liter, maybe 1.5 liters of not vodka, whiskey a day
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
for a prolonged period of time.
Hmm.
Well, it started off. It was about a year, about a year and a half. Before the lockdown and stuff like that.
Mm.
I was started drinking like little bits now and again. I wasn't drinking a lot, and then slowly it built up and ended up drinking more and more. Didn't
Yeah.
really think
Yeah.
much of it until it
Hmm.
got to the point where I was drinking because I had to drink, so my body was like craving it. But
Yeah.
I wasn't craving it myself. Like, oh, I need a drink. It's like my body started shaking if I didn't have it.
Mm.
And then it got to the point where I was just so unwell from it. I got like infection in my kidney. I think it was my kidney or my liver was inflamed, or I had problems with my liver. My kidney had an infection in my kidneys.
Hmm.
And then I went and stayed at my mum's house um, because obviously I needed to detox, but they weren't giving me
Hmm.
enough to like bring me down. I ended up having an argument with my dad. I fell into the shower and I broke this brand new shower, like glass shower.
Wow. Okay. Hmm.
And then went to the hospital to try and get given some stuff to flush my body. Weren't having it. Didn't want it. Even though I wanted to cut down, I didn't want to like completely detox and go cold turkey.
Hmm.
And then in the end, I went back to my mum and dad's house. I had nowhere else to go really, and they made me sleep in the shed, basically with a blanket and some water and stuff. This is free. It was a freezing cold night, but you know what? Whatever. And they left the house, and they didn't. So there's no one in the house. I couldn't get in, and I had the shed I was sleeping in.
Hmm.
And it was the worst night of my life. It was just a real bad night. I
Hmm.
was like, I was like shaking like crazy. I was sweating profusely.
Hmm.
It was just really bad. And then at one point, I just literally went like that, blacked out on the floor, and I was in this like void. I was totally aware, like for instance, like you was aware this
Hmm.
darkness, but it was pure love and peace feeling, and my body wasn't there no more. I wasn't breathing. It was just like everything was gone, and there was nothing to fear anymore. And then after a few seconds, bosh, I came back and I woke up, and I like got off, like laying on the floor, woke back up, and I was just like, geez. And then I was like, oh, I wish I could have stayed like where I was to go wherever, because clearly something had happened. And that was like a big sort of eye opener for me. And before that, I was sick in like 2015. Something similar happened then, where I'd kind of blacked out, and I could hear this beautiful music for some reason in the background. That was just something different.
Okay.
But the love and the acceptance and the like the no worry was there still. That same feeling of like you're all right kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's it's hard to explain it, but
no, I get that. Yeah,
there's nothing to be like. There's nothing to be scared of. You're only fearing the moment you're in because you're letting yourself be overruled by the fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's it. I say it's no more ego, and therefore, if there's no ego, then like I say, there's no more fear to, that's what ego does. It makes you fear and all that kind of thing sometimes.
It's very similar to Wim Hof. You know Wim Hof, right? He does the. Have you ever seen Wim Hof? He does like the breathe in. No, basically, you can go in the ice for prolonged periods of time, like, and just do a deep breathing, and he can control himself. You know, like if you used to go out in the cold and you're shivering, but if you just like breathe and concentrate that you're not feeling that, it's almost like you can control it. Same thing, if you burn yourself, you can control that pain. Like even though your body's feeling the pain, you can control it using your mind. So like that's the same thing with dying. If you're going through like a traumatic experience, you've got the choice to control what you're feeling and how you deal with it in your mind.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So
absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So when you say about the feeling of unconditional love and all that kind of thing, so was you seeing anything to give you that feeling?
I didn't see anything. That's the thing. I never see anything. Unfortunately, I just weren't there long enough, I don't think. But there was just it was just like it's just like the most euphoric feeling of just accepting, loving, almost like you're just in a river of bliss.
Yes.
It. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry no more. It's cool. Like you're all right. You're all right. And because you're detached from the physical body, you're just completely separated. You don't feel that energy anymore. You know, from that body.
Yeah.
So it's like the ego goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really good. Really, what's the word? It's an experience now. When I look back at it, if I'm going through hard times now, I just think I've already like passed over like there once before, twice before, and like, why am I? I don't need to fear this. Like, even though like, I could be in a fearful moment for that period, but I know that the other side is just chill. So I'm not worried. Like, oh, am I going to go to hell? Am I going to? I don't think like that. I just don't think like that.
That's it. You know? I think people are putting hell into things just to go make people behave differently. But I think you can do some horrible, horrific things. Sorry to say. I mean, I don't want to give people the license then to go ahead and start doing horrible things. But when you get back to that point of having your life review, it's not like a teacher to a parent. I mean, sorry, a teacher to a pupil thing, and you're just like telling them off. It's like you did this and you did, that was wrong. You're actually analysing yourself. You're telling yourself off, but with a lot of love. So you're saying like, you've got to learn that lesson next time, mate. Otherwise, you're going to just keep doing the. That's what it's about. So it's not a horrific telling off, but your soul knows that if you're doing something wrong or you hurt somebody, you just naturally know. And so I've got a feeling that from all that kind of stuff, that if you've become a murderer, next time you could become a victim, and it's lessons are learnt through karma.
Exactly.
I feel that
exactly, and I totally get that. When like I said, you reap what you sow, right? Everything that I'd done as a child, like burning ants and all this kind of stuff, right? which I didn't think about at the time. I didn't really look at it in a negative way. But then I'm like, oh, I've done all this, and now like it's happening to me in a way, like not getting burnt, like literally burnt, but things that I have done, yeah, in a way. I'm just like, well, yeah, this is coming back at me, and then I'm thinking what you just said about the if you kill someone, for instance, then the chances are, well, what I'd guess would happen is you'd go back there, as you're saying, they'd tell you off in a loving way, then you'd come back, and then you'd experience getting murdered by someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that possibly could happen.
Could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it is the way it is, or maybe that soul recognizes the issues that they did and really generally is sorry. Then maybe that doesn't happen in the next life, or if they're not really generally sorry, and you could see that maybe I don't know, but that's just the general gist I get of it. Maybe
there's so many different ways to look at it, and maybe you've like come down here and you're destined to do it to someone because that was the plan that you had before you came here.
Yeah, exactly.
And their plan was to experience that, so you've come down with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like me and my wife, for example. I do generally believe that synchronicity. I believe in that so much now, so especially since meeting my wife. There are places that I've been in similar situations to what you just were saying about the alcohol side of things as well. So I can understand that so much, and I was getting to the point where I could have had a life because of it. But because I know it sounds weird again, but I'll say all these things, which is in my book. So in my book, basically, I go into that as well because I do say I did drink a lot as well. I went through where I was not happy, and I was struggling. So basically, I drank a lot for that reason. And anyway, so in my life review, I saw again possibilities of I could have actually ended up dead in that property, and I saw myself dead in that property as well. In the life review that I had, I saw myself in this room and being like, and I had that moment come into me saying like, Paul, do you remember that in your life review? I'm like, yeah, that could happen now, I'm like, oh, and then so my I started to think, okay, let's not do that anymore. Well, less and less and less. So I started to drink less and less, and so I started then to save money, and then went then to Russia, and then I met up with Yulia again. It's a long story on that one. It's a nice story. Again, it's in my book, so it's like a film. The way how we met. Yeah, it's great. Great book. Feet on the ground, yeah.
Amazon.
Walk on the life, feet on the ground. And it's not in Waterstones, but I really wanted them to put it into Waterstones, but anyway, they haven't done it yet. But so when I decided not to drink so much, then my situation was better because I started to save money. I went to Russia again, see Yulia again, and the weird thing was on that one is that Anya, her daughter, started calling me Dad in that week holiday, and but we wasn't thinking relationship at all. And anyway, so long story short, So long story short, on that one, things started to bloom in that week. Later on that week, to the point that eventually, we decided to make more friendship into more of a relationship and and we got married in Russia and all that kind of thing. So and the weird thing was, well, I didn't see in my life review myself getting married, and that's why I was quite. I realized it was a life review that I had, and I said to myself, I didn't see myself getting married. That's not good. And again, in my head, I was thinking that's rubbish. And I wanted to see myself get married. If it was a life review, I wanted to see myself get married, and I'm thinking like I'm just gonna be single. That's why I started to have a few too many sherbets and stuff. But anyway, long story short on that one, Lewis, is that I did get married, but it wasn't a white wedding. It was a registrar wedding.
Oh, right, yeah.
So what I did see was a kind of ceremony, but I didn't think it was a white wedding. I thought, okay, so whatever it wasn't what I thought it was. And anyway, so long story short on that one, it was that basically I did get married, but it was not the way I wanted to see it originally. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that about coincidences. When I was growing up, I was used to muddle up. My mum and dad used to live in Australia, right?
Hmm.
And I always used to think it was South Africa for some reason.
Okay.
Ever since I was like a child, the age of 5, growing up, right? I used to
Hmm.
say to kids in school, my mum and dad used to live in South Africa,
Yeah.
and it was Australia because I used to miss out. Anyway, the wife I'm with now, I've been with her for 10 years. We've been together. We've been married for 3 years. She is from Zimbabwe originally, so
Okay.
it's really weird, and that's how we like bumped into, or didn't bump into each other there, obviously. But
Mm.
yeah, started chatting to her on Facebook, and it's just
Yeah.
weird how it was from sort of Southern Africa, isn't it?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I always used to confuse the two, Australia and South Africa, and then I met again
Well, that's
from
yeah.
South Africa.
But naturally, your soul is saying South Africa is going to be a link to you,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, and
exactly, exactly,
yeah.
100%.
So and again, synchronicity point you in that direction.
So many
You know.
things have happened through my life. I'm sure with yourself, not only with your near death, but you have like whether it be a dream or like a premonition or something that, or a dream that does come true, or things that, or signs that you see, and then as time goes on, you realize, oh, what I was like sort of seeing, like things that kept getting shown to me almost, whether it be a
Hmm.
thought or something you see, like it just that sticks out to you, and then they all sort of come together like a puzzle, piece of a puzzle. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
it
That's what
and
it's
it
like.
makes sense. Yeah,
Definitely.
I've
Definitely.
had that
Yeah.
throughout my whole life.
Have you?
It's almost like someone was. It's almost like maybe it was me telling myself, or in like a different dimension, maybe, or something. You know what I mean? There's quite a
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
good films like that. I can't remember. It's called. There's one called where the guy goes to another planet to try and save Earth, and then I don't know. It's called. Babe, what's that film
Oh,
called? We watched it.
I've seen
What is
that
it
one.
called? Basically, they're trying to get off Earth because Earth is turning to loads of dust storms and all this kind of thing. And then when they go to this other planet,
Mm.
because the gravity is so much, it dilates the time. So like a minute on that planet's like a couple of years on Earth or something like that. So they've got to get off the
Okay.
planet quick, and they've got to get back to Earth. When they get back, it's basically like the person who was showing them signs was them in a different dimension,
Ah.
because everything's
Okay.
quantumly
Right.
entangled and whatever. So yeah, for
Oh.
me,
Okay.
getting shown things is sort of like could be myself, or it could be spirit trying to guide me. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. I think so.
it
Yeah.
all made sense.
Yeah. Well, I
Mm.
think because we've interviewed Anthony Peake. I don't know if you've heard of yeah
Yeah.
Anthony Peake is a great author and great guy as well. Nice guy, worth chatting to as well. And he also mentions the word about the daemon. And it's not Matt Damon, but yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
the daemon, and basically it's like you got an angel almost saying, do this, do that, and it gives you like prompts, little nudges saying like, yeah, do this, do that. So I mean, I've had a little recent nudge, and I'm going in that direction now. I want to do counselling, so I'm going to learn to become a counsellor. I mean, I'm 49, I know, but getting on a bit, but I don't feel like
Oh,
I'm
that's good.
49. So but I've had little nudges, and so me and my mate Johnny from Your Planet
Mm.
went to learn counselling together. So
Brilliant.
yeah,
That's
so
funny. Talking about nudges, there was one time when I was about sort of 17 years old, smoking a lot of weed at the time, because I did back in the day. And
yeah,
I was in the car with my friend. He was driving me home. I was in the back. There was no one in the front but him. Well, even I was
mm,
sitting in the back, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh, like I need to stop smoking weed. It's kind of like affecting my life. I'm becoming lazy and whatever." And for no reason, my mate just ran. I was speaking in my head, right? I
yeah,
speak like
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
this. And my friend turned around for no reason. I went, "You need to sort your fucking self out, mate." For no reason.
Wow,
He just
wow,
randomly came out of that. And I was just like, what the
wow,
who the hell is
yeah,
that? And then when I asked him
yeah,
about it, I said, what? And he didn't know
yeah,
what he just said. He just randomly came out of it.
wow. So something went into him and said, yeah, you need to do
You need
it,
to sort your
otherwise,
fucking self out. That's how it came out.
yeah. Yeah.
I just,
So
I
again,
know.
energy.
Wow.
I think energy went in and said, verbally spoke to you.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Wow. I'm interested about the ghost that you mentioned about earlier when you was on about the ghost. So tell me a bit more about that.
Oh, right. So I went to my friend's house, Ross. Ross. I'm not going to put his full name, but
Mm-hmm.
he his mum went to Spain because they've got a place in Spain, right? And his brother weren't living at home at the time, so he's got a what is it, 1, 2, 3 bedroom house near where I lived in Chinkford area, and he invited me round and said you can stay over the night if you want, and I was like, all right, fair enough. So I went round there. We were just chatting and chilling, and then came to go bed, and he goes, oh, you can sleep downstairs. And I was just like, well, can't I sleep on one of the beds upstairs? You got 2 spare rooms. He's like, no, just sleep on the sofa in the front room. So I was like, all right, fair enough. Didn't think anything of it. Gave me a blanket, laying on his leather sofa, and went to sleep. And I woke up at like, I don't know, must have been about, I don't know the time. I didn't have a watch on me, but I'm guessing it was sort of like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I opened my eyes and I can see he's like chandelier light fitting. He's just swinging back and forth, back and forth. And then I closed my eyes after witnessing that, and I thought, what? And then when I opened my eyes again, like there's this, like as I looked out, there's this old woman just standing there, looking at me with this massive grin, smile. She was just smiling. It was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked over and I was just like, okay. And then I kind of like, fuck this, put the quilt back over my head, went back to sleep. And then when I woke up in the morning, my mate came down. I was just like, Ross, and he went, what? I went, you fucking arsehole. He went, what? And I was like, I swear to God, I see a woman down there last night, and he just burst out laughing, right? And I was like, you got to tell me what's going on. Anyway, it turns out that him and his brother was always scared of the front room because things used to move around. His cat was like constantly staring at things because like cats can see, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And only like a few months beforehand, the 2 sons who used to live in that house with their mum came and visited, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they visited to see their old house, right? But their mum had died in that house.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And I obviously see her, but that was clearly what it was. So, yeah, scared. Didn't really scare me, but I was just like at first, what the hell? It just, do you know when you're half asleep and you open your eyes and if you see something, you just kind of like you can switch off and go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like because I wasn't like fully awake, you know. I wasn't in that fight. Definitely saw the woman. I could have drawn a picture of her, and clear as day. But she was just completely white. There was this sort of white sort of glow around her, her body.
Yeah.
Didn't look at her feet. I could just sort of see her upper half to her head, and she had hair and stuff. Is there anything else of that? No, that was pretty much it. Then I've seen a few other ghosts since then. When I was with my second girlfriend, her mum passed away before I met her, and things used to always move around in the house, and like the salt would just disappear for like days, and then eventually it just end up in the middle of the table, randomly. Yeah, things like that.
Okay. Wow.
So,
yeah. I'm just wondering about ghosts. I mean, do you think that they're like stuck, souls that are stuck, or what do you think about ghosts?
I just think they don't want. I don't think they want to leave necessarily. I think we got the choice to, like, for instance, you had the choice to go with the beings, right? You could have said, "No, I want to stay here," and then like, oh, when I'm ready to go, I'll go. Or you might have been a person that thought, "Oh, who the hell are you?" kind of thing. Stay away from me.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not in that sort of awakened state, which you would be on Earth once you've sort of got understood that everything was sort of just like energy and spirit, and like the way we think. Like if everyone was to think that way, then it would be different when they passed away. Maybe they wouldn't think, "Oh no, I don't want to go with you. You're going to take me somewhere."
Could be. Yeah. Well, there's so many people are saying, when when you do die, and then you see the light. When I had that moment of where it says, do you want to go back to your body, or do you want to stay here? That was the moment where I started seeing the light as well in the background behind them. So
Right.
I'm thinking like, what, and then on retrospect, thinking like, what was that? But again, people do see this light, and it was turning, it was spinning type of thing, and so I'm then thinking like, so is reincarnation a trap, or because really, to be honest with you, that realm where I was staying was actually the place to stay, not necessarily Earth. And it sounds horrible to say that, but
Yeah.
I sometimes feel that the Earth is a bit. Might we go a bit political here, but I do think it's run by psychos, and
Yeah.
so on that basis, I feel like that realm is the best place to stay.
Mm.
So, is it a trap? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think, yeah, it's just like there to sort of relax and sort of get your composure before you come back here again, I suppose.
Yeah.
I wish that I hope that there's I'm pretty much, I don't know because I've not been anywhere else apart from this Earth, but I hope there's other planets where there's like more moons, and like, do you know what I mean? Like you look out and there's like Jupiter's got massive, or Saturn massive rings, and you can actually enjoy a planet like that. I'd enjoy that. Do you know?
Cool.
Just
Definitely.
apart from just this one place, hopefully there's other places. Well, I know there must be surely. Unless we're actually, I'm not going to mention that. People think we're on some plane of.
I know. I mean, yeah, who knows? Who knows? But no, but I mean, to think that we're the only ones in the whole universe is infinite. I think there's going to be lots of life out there, and to be honest with you, I've had a moment where, similar to what you said about your ghost experience, I had a similar experience with an alien, and it was around about a year and a half ago, and I was in bed, obviously, and then around about whatever time it was, night time, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever it was, I can't remember seeing the time, but and then anyway, I wake up and I'm thinking like, what's there? Because I felt like what was happening first of all was my hands, and that sounds very similar to near death, but I felt like my hands were like vibrating. So I look up and then I see like dissolving, like almost like I'm materialize, just dematerializing. And I'm thinking like, whoa. And then as I'm doing that, then I'm seeing then down to the left-hand side of the bed, a little grey alien. I'm thinking like, whoa. Then bam, I'm out. And I don't know, some people say that, Paul, there might have been a, what's it called, when you go out to your body?
You mean like the astral projection kind of?
That's it. Yeah. Some people say it's astral projection. I keep my mouth open. It could have been an abduction. It could have been astral projection. I don't know. But that's what I saw.
Yeah. When you do get to that point of leaving the body, I've practiced it plenty of times, but all sorts of random things happen. You start hearing like the most. You hear static at first because obviously you are a form of static. It's just energy. So you hear like real staticky buzzing in your ears, and you can hear anything from people calling your name, the doorbell ringing, almost like you're in multiple dimensions, or you're shifting through multiple dimensions.
Right.
And then you hear someone shout your name, Paul, or like I heard Lewis, like the door, Lewis, and I'm like, and I heard the chanting of the monks, or is it the monks, or the But they go, do you know, they do I heard that literally clear as day through my ears, and I was just like, that kind of wigged me out a bit. I was like, oh, well, like, that actually, I didn't actually follow through, because you get to a point when you're leaving your body, you get scared to like, oh, what if I don't come back? What if I don't come back? So your ego sort of takes over. Then you just got to like go with it.
Okay.
And then you just you will pop out and float around and whatever. You can sort of think where you want to go to. I've had quite a few experiences where I've been in the same realm, not the same realm. I've been up down where my road was in Chinkford, outside my house, and it was like a beautiful blue sort of sunny day, There was no cars on the streets, but the houses were there. It was really weird. There was nothing but me and this empty sky of. There was nothing. It was like me in a different reality. Very weird.
Yeah.
And I walked up the road. Not walked up the road. I kind of like moved up the road, as you'd say in your thing. It's more like you think where you're going and you move there.
Yeah.
Like that. It's weird. I was examining wood, the grains of wood, like really close up because I could get really close to things. I was looking at the bricks on the walls, really close, like kind of magnifying glass. It was that clear. It was like clearer than now. So that was quite fun. And the thing that created that was me and my dad painted the cabin down the end of the garden. Like we had a wooden cabin that was my bedroom. And we painted the roof with silver paint to stop the sun reflecting off of it. And that next day when I was sleeping there, I had an out-of-body experience from that. So I don't know if that was linked to it, because you think about the pyramids and stuff like that, the way that their stones, they've got specific stones and that. Maybe that was something that enhanced the ability to come out of my body.
Could be.
That was an accidental one. I wasn't trying to either. I was just laying down, fell asleep, and then I was outside the front of my house, like, what's going on here? Yeah, very weird. I was going to say one more thing. One last thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you carry on first, because I will remember what to say. I thought you was going to.
No, I'm just interested about the idea of the pyramids because people say about so many things about the pyramids and why it's there, but you just give me a good example of it could be to do with helping you to travel and see the stars because I think the Egyptians were quite aware of the stars. I mean that's why they put the pyramids in the line of the whatever star system it was, but I do find that they're obviously very aware of that.
I think that's definitely a possibility. Maybe as well, it might be something to do with the grid of the Earth, so you could like also be anywhere on Earth. If you like meditate into that state, you could sort of observe anything on Earth, which you can do anyways. They've done it. They've done it in the what was that Operation something or other? I can't remember what it was. Paperclip or something like that.
Paperclip was the Nazis getting the Nazis. Paper project. Not Blue Beam.
But
Philadelphia.
There was one where they were doing the sort of
Philadelphia experiment.
Might be. There's so many of them.
There are. Yeah, so many.
But using the mind to see things that ain't like through walls and whatever, and read numbers and that. And there's one guy who just made it.
Ingo Swan.
That's it.
Yeah, because he could see the moon, he could see the dark side of the moon, and all that kind of thing, which was quite interesting. Yeah, he was able to remote view. That's it, remote viewing and stuff like that. Yeah, I wish I could remote view. I must admit.
Yeah, no, you can do it. You've just got to you have to practice the method over and over. It's like playing. It's like anything. If you practice a psychic ability, like trying to read someone's mind, for instance, if you keep trying to if someone thinks of a number, this is how I started doing this. Someone thinks of a number and you try and guess that number. If you do it over and over and over again, eventually you will start to like tune into that person. It's like being married to someone, like, or in a relationship. You get that connection. Yeah, you can get that connection because you've practiced that connection, so you can sort of get into people's heads. I know it sounds ridiculously stupid and impossible, but it's not. That's how it works. So you get the number and then you just keep. I started doing that with people, and I started getting. I just say, when was you born? Tell me the month you was born, and I'll try and guess the date that you was born on. And I kept doing that, and I ended up being able to do it every single time without fail, being able to guess the exact number. And then I started picking up all sorts of things like. Then I got to this stage where things I started seeing ahead of time, and then it wasn't good. Like I didn't want to know things slightly ahead, like whether it be in a day or whatever. Do you know when that big tsunami was in? In where was it? Not Haiti. Haiti, was it Haiti?
I think it was Haiti. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The night before, I had a dream of a massive wave crashing into the seafront, and the next day that happened. So that was the kind of thing I had to switch myself off to, because I was just like, this is too much. I don't want to know things that can happen, and I was just like, it's not ideal. It's good to be ahead of time, but it's not.
Of course, but it's not always, especially with certain political things, which we probably don't want to go into. But
Yeah, exactly, mate.
I don't want you to get this show off. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say. Sorry, I've been talking too much now.
That's fine. I enjoyed the conversation, mate.
You were speaking. I was talking about the experience with my friend and him speaking. Or there was another time where I was walking through the forest at the bottom of my road where I was living, and I was thinking to myself, I'm a bad person. I've made mistakes, and I'm not worthy to go to heaven. This is what I was thinking. Like, I'm not worthy of anything good after this life, kind of thing.
Okay.
And as I walked out the bottom of the road, there was a cat, a white cat, right, laying in the middle of the road on my little what do you call it? Not private street, but like a road you will go into, but you have to come back out of it. What's it called? Cul-de-sac, isn't it?
Cul-de-sac, yeah.
So there was this cat laying in the middle of the road, and I was like, huh? And why is the cat there? Something happened to the cat. So I've run up the road to go and see if the cat's all right, and it darted off. Right, so that was a confirmation to me that what I just asked, am I worthy of the existence after this life? Am I a good person? Well, clearly I'm a good person, because if I wasn't, I would have just ignored the cat and not cooked about the cat and just carried on.
Exactly. And that's it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Your instincts are good. So, and that's all, if you're here to do good, then
exactly.
That's what it's about. The words I got from my near-death experience was basically, there was 3 strong words that came back from out of it was love, learning, and connection. That was the biggest. That's why Planet. That's why I'm doing that as well with Johnny, and also a bit of a shout out for the Paranormal Peep Show, because they're combined with us as well. They do interviews, and we put them on to Planet as well. So big shout out to them.
Yeah. Unite Planet. Make sure if you can, guys, subscribe to Unite Planet. He's got some brilliant content on there.
Thank you. Yeah, YouTube maybe not so much, because we're getting some videos removed, and we've had 2 strikes, by the way.
All right, what are you on now then? Rockfin or something like that, or?
We're on BitChute mainly.
BitChute, that's it.
Yeah, BitChute is the main channel that we do our content on now. So YouTube is we're still on there, but barely grasping onto it.
Yeah, it's the worst. They just don't want anyone speaking anything now, do they?
No.
Control, divide and conquer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And your book, Walk of Life, Paul Northridge.
Oh, there you go.
Feet on the Ground. Where's it? Oh, yeah, Feet on the Ground. And that's on Amazon. You can get that book.
Yeah, Amazon, you can get it on Amazon. And so basically it's just obviously my life has just been like a near-death experience. Obviously, basically I almost died when I was younger as well. So when I was a baby, I almost died from spina bifida issues, a lot of blood loss, and so I've had quite a lot of close death experiences already, I would say. And also then I tried to use a lot of humor, because having spina bifida, it can be quite traumatic sometimes for a lot of people. But I try to not see myself as a victim, and I try to make it look like want to have a bit more humor in life as well. So that's why I'm trying to make it a lot more, the funny things about having a disability, So
yeah. And there's anything else we wanted to cover? So just trying to think. Was there something else we was going to talk about? That was pretty much it, wasn't it? We pretty much covered everything, and we in terms of I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to ask you.
We've got a website that's almost developed. You can still type it in on the engine. You can't really search on Google, so to speak, because I think Google might have a bit of an issue.
DuckDuckGo is a good website to go onto.
Yeah, well then maybe that's people did that. Yeah, so it's all the W's uniteplanet.co.uk.
All right.
But it's still being developed still. It's partially there, and so you can still go on there and watch videos that we've done. But it's not fully up and running, so to speak. It just needs to be finished off. But you can still see things on there.
And I was going to say one more thing before we close this off. Have you got any special abilities since like what happened to you? Have you got any sort of abilities yourself apart from being a musician and you're good with that kind of side of things? Is there anything that you've picked up over time, like intuitions that you get, natural intuitions, sort of like sixth sense of any type or any kind of anything like that?
Yeah, I've had moments where where I was teaching. I was a music teacher, and one guy I particularly really got on well with, lovely guy, and he was 80, 81, I think he was when he passed away. But I've been teaching him for about 5 years, so I really got to know him really well. And he never really paid me. It was more to do with like coffee, and his wife made me cake. So every time I did a lesson, I got coffee and cake, and that was my, and I enjoyed it. That's the whole point of it. And we got on so well. And he would like tell his war experiences with me because he fought in the Second World War and all that kind of thing. And so he was a bit like a colonel. Do you remember if you see the Fawlty Towers colonel? He was a bit like him, bless him. He was a bit like him. That's when I see him, I think like, gosh, he reminds me of him so much. And anyway, so as I'm finishing teaching off that lesson, I get into the car, and he always walked me up to the car because obviously he knew my situation with walking. Always walked me to the car, and then he used to then shut the gate, and he used to like say bye bye. As I'm driving off, he used to do that. As I'm doing that, and I'm waving back to him like that, something just said to me, "Unfortunately, that's the last time you're going to see him." I'm like, "What?" And then 2 days later, I had a phone call from his wife saying, "Sorry, yeah, he passed away."
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought that was, I didn't know why that happened, but that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't get that with my dad. Unfortunately, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and I thought I might have got something like that. But he was struggling. He was not very well for a while. But this particular person wasn't ill. He was full of beans. Yeah, so I think maybe that's probably why I was very more aware my dad was going to be passing away soon. Anyway. So I don't know, but that gentleman, like I say, was full of beans, and for me to like say that's the last time you're going to see him, I thought. Well, so so I've had that experience. So I
had a similar
don't get it all the
experience,
time.
actually.
You've had a similar one, yeah?
I had a similar experience when my friend Steve passed away. He was from Scotland, but he was living in where he was in Leytonstone, or near Chingford, shall I say, same area, and we went to go to, me and Amanda, my wife, we went to go to Spain for, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks with her dad, because her dad's got a place out there. And before we went, I see him, and I just, as he was walking off, I kind of got that sort of feeling about him, just like that I was never gonna see him again. But it was weird because obviously you could just think, oh, I was just thinking that in my head, but it was like the last time I was going to see him kind of thing. But I wasn't told it like you was, but I kind of guessed it in a way. It was weird.
Yeah.
He had a lot of problems. He had a lot of health problems and that. But when I went to go away, the night before we went away, I had a dream. I went into the shower and I just collapsed on the floor. And then I woke up and I was like, well, that was a bit weird. And then I think it was 2 weeks later when we came back, he wasn't picking up his phone or nothing. And then I was like, oh, that he's passed away. Like he's definitely passed away, because I've been shown this, like when I had the sort of vision that he's just passed out. I don't know what it was. And then all sorts of random stuff started happening. Like the TV turned itself on in front of me and my wife for no reason. There was a ball that was sitting on the table, perfectly still. It just rolled across the table. And I was just like, yeah, he's definitely passed away. Because I always said to him, because he was obsessed with death, I said, when you do die eventually, because he's not the healthiest of people, when you do die, make sure you come and let me know that you're on the other side, kind of thing. And I literally counted like at least 20 different things that happened after he passed away. But were definitely not coincidental. These things, it was him doing them.
I go with that.
But yeah, when he passed away, he had a heart implant and that, and it must have just given way, and that was it. He just blacked out and died on the street. I didn't find out until like a little while later, because they put him into a morgue and no one could identify him because his name wasn't the same or something. He goes by a different name, so, but he didn't. Anyway, long story short, he had a heart attack and died, and it was kind of what I visioned. Although I was in a shower for no reason, it was like a just blacking out kind of vision.
Yeah. I get you on that one. I can definitely go that, mate. Yeah.
Anyway,
and, it's like another experiences. I think again because you're connected. I think it's connection, and that's the whole point of it. I think because you're connected so well with your friend. I also connected so well with that pupil of mine. So I think it is, when you do connect with someone and bond, you feel it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe wrong. Yeah.
No, there's got to be something there that connects. It has to be. I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we all coming from one consciousness, aren't we? We always say, you're not finding especially. That's what we say. It's we're all coming from the one source. It's the consciousness, and so if we're all tapping into that consciousness, then that's it, really. We're able to be, everything and everyone, really.
It seems a way, like you're saying that if you look at it like this, if you look at it like we are all one consciousness, and when we spend time with other people that we become close to, we almost see them as us, like they become us because we're connected like that. So then that means that we have that connection with that bond with them. But it's really another part of us just finding a connection to the greater thing that is the whole oneness of everything, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, that's what it's about, mate. That's what it's all about.
It is crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Should we should end it on this note of positive.
On a good note. Yeah, on a good note. Yeah. No about death, but on about we're all one together and consciousness.
Oh, it's been great having you on. As I said, go on to Amazon and get Paul's book, as he's got it there. It'll be a fantastic read.
Yeah, thank you.
He's Unite Planet on you can go on YouTube, but also on
BitChute. And also, we've got things on brand new Tube, and we also got things on. I think we've got a channel on MeWe. So instead of like a Facebook, I think we've got MeWe.
What's it called?
MeWe. It's MeWe. Yeah, and I think we've got things. I'll be honest with you, and it sounds horrible, but we get like most people go onto YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of thing. So we naturally did the same thing, but now obviously they're tightening things up a little bit and making it harder to do X, Y, and Z. Did it purposely, in my opinion. Sorry to say, but so now we've got so many more subscribers on YouTube than BitChute. So again, we're just thinking like what to do. We're just hoping that people just jump ship and go to BitChute eventually. But that's what we're
it just seems like when you go on BitChute, when I've gone onto BitChute and you follow a specific person, that they don't seem to get the same number of followers, the same views, and then that makes me think that YouTube has almost a bot algorithm where the bots are the ones that promote the videos, and the actual amount of people that see the videos is much less than what that's made out. So it's kind of like a false false thing of how many views you're really getting. I
go with that.
Hang on one sec.
Bless you.
Little case of thingy there. Thanks for coming on. And
thank you, Lewis. Thanks for the opportunity, mate.
And please subscribe, like, and I will leave the links to your channel in the description below. And then you can follow that way, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. This is